Flamingo. Happy Sunday. This is Nix. Good morning. They're casting shadows upon the castle walls. When I say that, that means that they're trying to push past boundaries that have already been set. You have to understand, collective, as they get more desperate to prove things that are not true, they're going to keep attacking you, especially in your so-called weakest state, which is your sleep state. Remember to set your intentions before you go to sleep, because there are some people who definitely like to creep. They wait until you close your eyes and then they fashion themselves closely and position themselves much like spies. Not really professional, but definitely illegal. So don't stand in their way as they prepare to drop the soap, if you get what I'm saying. The spiritual cleansing is definitely lack thereof when it comes to them. So you can smell them when they approach. You can pretty much understand what happens. Maybe you get an itch, maybe you get a twitch, maybe you see a pest or two flying around. But that's just to let you know what's going on the outside is definitely what's happening on the inside. There are a few losers that couldn't allow you to be naturally on your own because what they told the crowd is definitely what's not happening at all. You see, they told a bunch of people that you were lack thereof. They told a bunch of people that you would never make it without their input. They told a bunch of people that they would have you hook, line, and sinker in some kind of trafficking situation. They told everybody that they'd have you back on the block. They told everybody that they'd have you at a bar. They told everybody that they'd have you on your back. They told everybody that they'd have access and you'd have nothing, no choice in the matter. They told themselves that if they stripped enough of your things away from you, you would look exactly like the lie that they told, except they forgot that you were you and you were authentic. They really forgot that you were who you were when they started studying you. And that's why they had to try to take things away from you, because they lied on you. They said that you were a bum. They said that you were an addict. They said that you were all sorts of things. And then they went about introducing people and trying to spike everything that you were partaking in, just just in case you got into it and they could claim that you were what they said you were. But here's the thing. What they didn't tell people when they were telling all those lies is that that wasn't the truth, and that they were going to do things to you in the background to try to force you into the narrative. And then they got all panicky and all huffy when you didn't. And they started to try to take revenge. But this is the thing about the word revenge. Revenge usually means that you're reversing things. It usually means that something happened to you first, and then they turned it around and made it travel toward you. But what if all the attacks came from one way? What if the same people that lied on you were the same people that were sabotaging you? So when you do your return to senders, it kind of hits them hard. And everybody's trying to figure out, well, if you said that they were attacking you, how come? How come? Their fruit is looking a little different. They're bearing a little different. They're not looking like such a loser. They're looking like they're surviving the things that you said. It's starting to look like you're trying to make these things happen, because this person, now I recall, has never really been that person that you said they were. I only got the idea because you started painting the picture. But now, upon closer look and inspection, they don't look like what you said at all. And now that I see the desperation in your eyes as you constantly keep trying to change the story, but not by much, it looks like you need them to look a certain way. What is it you're getting out of trying to make them look like the donkey of the day? Is it a bribe? Is it status? Some of you tried to use the collective as a fee to enter into Hollywood, not really having any real talent at all. You were willing to sacrifice the person with the real talent, all because you were jealous that they had the talent and you had to read a how-to for dummies. You know, how to be a rapper 101, how to act tall 101, how to pretend you're pretty 101, how to pretend you wash your ass every day 202. You know, because if that person was actually a bum or a loser or an addict, all you would have had to do was sit back and let the dice roll. But you couldn't let it happen like that because you're more creative in someone else's life than you actually are in yours. That's why nobody came to visit you prior to you involving yourself in someone who's actually interesting. Like, see, when you were planning all that sabotage, you didn't know that somebody was actually smart enough to flip the tables upon you, saying, hold up, if you're going to bring a crowd, why not give them something to look at? That's because during your whole trip, your whole smear campaign, you forgot that the person that you were actually trying to rob actually had something to say. They actually were the thing that brought you into the thing in the first place. Had they not had talent, you would have never looked that way, and you would have never wanted to rob them and try to interfere in their dream state. You see, you needed to hide your face. You needed to put yourself behind someone's back. You needed the cloak so that you can wield the dagger, because you were never brave or confident enough to really confront this person. You were never confident enough to really, if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, it's not even about you confronting that person. It's about you confronting the loser that you are in life. Because why would you have to sabotage someone else's life in order to live your own? It's because you don't have much of one and you wanted to use a part of theirs to raise the roof on yours. Because you surely would go down in the history of nobody had you not even decided to meet a somebody. And you needed to tear everything about them apart so that you can feel like you are a part of something. And there were people there that really would, enabled you. And you felt validated in that time, not even realizing that you were going to be a store runner and they really didn't want you there. They were just giving you busy work to do. And oh my gosh, they didn't know that you would actually do it. And they laughed at you because look at how thirsty you are, that you are willing to throw away your whole entire future just to be validated by one of us who've never gotten validation. This is why we needed a crew in the first place. But now that we see that you're willing to go low, beyond low, behind under that rock, behind under that creed, behind under that crud, we still laugh at you, but we'll use your efforts to our benefit. Because what you didn't see was that you looked like dirt. You look like less than dirt. You look less than valuable to a person because you were willing to do stuff that other people weren't willing to do, and you were so bold to do it. So we put that battery in your back and let you go, not knowing that you were going to be the Energizer Bunny, and now that you are fighting against a brick wall and we're laughing and we're selling the entry tickets to your downfall, we're still going to allow you to attack an innocent person. Because where your hands are getting dirty, our hands are getting clean. Even though we're encouraging you to keep going, as soon as you start to break down, we're going to take our hands off of you because we don't want to take credit for the fact that we allowed you to do so much damage to your own self and to try to damage the other person. It's crazy because you said that person was a loser, but they're starting to beat you with no hands. Look, mommy, no hands. They haven't lifted a finger to you, yet you're still attacking them, and you're starting to look much like what you described when you were talking about them. You're addicted to attention. You're addicted to the flame. You're addicted like a moth. Yep, that's fire. That's what flame is. At first, you had no shame, but it starts to creep in at night. It starts to creep in when you look at the mirror. That's why you don't try to look at the mirror much. Because that guilt, oh boy, that guilt, it's in real life, it's in living color. Oh my goodness. And you are the joke. But you don't want everybody to just be laughing at you, so you keep trying to put the joke on the next person who you want to victimize. But that person refuses to be a victim, and now you're starting to feel much like exactly what you described, a victim. A victim of your own circumstances, a victim of your mouth, a victim of your tongue, a victim of the lies that you already told. But nobody fits into that mold but you. Awesome sauce. It's a shame you tried to get someone else to give up when you'd already given up. That's why you're so preoccupied with this person's downfall. Even though they're not falling down at all, here you are, still trying to have a ball on their dime. You're still trying to use the collective as an entry fee to Hollyweird. You know, the pre-Diddy parties before you actually go to the post-Diddy party. I don't think you want to be over there with them. He doesn't even want to be over there. But you want to go. Thirsty, are you? Thirsty. It's very thirsty of you to run around and do these things. Yet nobody will tell you the truth because they benefit from it and they get a chance to laugh at you. Humiliation is your cue. Because that's all you could really do. Because authenticity really does escape you. Case in point. All right, so something's going on with somebody's female reproduction health. I'm pretty good about picking these things up. So it was a dream. I dreamed, and it was like you look down, and it was an unexpected flow happening. I don't know who that's for, but it's not good to play in the darkness during like procreation, recreation, something like that. So somebody want to lay up off of the rituals, the altars, the sacrifices, that sort of thing, the Ifa, the Santiera, that sort of thing. You might want to lean up off those practices, especially if you're building a family. That backfire can hit you in any way. It can hit you in way of fibrosis. It can hit you with lumps in your chest. It can also hit you with thyroid issues, okay? You might be looking healthy now, but in a few years, you're going to wish you hadn't put your hands in some things, okay? It takes time. It takes time. These things are internal, okay? So if you have an internal darkness, if you're carrying grudges, if you're worrying someone, you might need to lay up, especially if you have young kids, you're in the family stage, and you deem yourself a bit healthy. You might want to hold on to what you got. We only got one life to live, especially if you happen to be a man. Might want to hold up because erectile dysfunction is happening through food, through moods. I mean, we have the news, we have these electronics, holding your phones too close to your balls can cause you some issues, especially when you've got some very angry women that are angry throwing text messages at you. You never know. You might have your phone in your pocket. One of those evil wenches come through with one of those messages and she's a little madder than what you think. Boom. You're not giving anything hard to anybody anytime soon. As a matter of fact, you're going to have a hard damn time getting that way, all right? So just be mindful of your intentions when you're out there breaking hearts and that thing and that whatever, okay? So be careful also with triangulation. Doesn't have to be romantic. Your family can triangulate you. Your coworkers can triangulate you, especially when they're trying to get somebody to do the most for a little, okay? That can happen. Families, they triangulate you by inviting people that you don't quite like just because they want you to prove whatever point that they've come up with. Be careful with family members. You don't always have to go. Don't let anybody put you in one of those guilt bags. Oh, but that's your mother, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your child. We don't care. If they are dooming you to Sheol, if they are a karmic, if they are the ones who are stopping your quality of life, it's time for you to reevaluate and do it safely, all right? Because there are some people that would love to say you abandoned them, even though they've been the ones putting dynamite in your shoes, okay? So be mindful of the wily coyotes in your life, and you just be a road runner. Meet me. I dropped the soap a couple of times this morning, much like some of you will be very, very soon. Make sure you get that soap on the rope. Hopefully, they're still selling it for some of you who don't have a good grip. All right, yeah, I dropped the soap maybe about 2 times this morning. So somebody's been in the slammer a couple of times and maybe they like it. Someone's going to tell you, or they may not. You may find out by choice of song and how exactly their body language goes that someone's definitely in love with someone else and it's not you. You're not his type. He really likes the same thing, okay? But he's willing to use you as a very attractive beard. Look, don't get in your panties. I'm just the messenger. There are some really beautiful, beautiful women that do not understand why they can't get their man to quite act right. It's because he really doesn't rock with you like that. It's not that he doesn't like your beauty. It's not that he doesn't appreciate the aesthetics that it brings him. Actually, he loves the fact that you're beautiful because once you get men to come over, he has an excuse to talk to them. Maybe do the wink thing, maybe do the can I blow in your eye thing and figure out whether that guy could be tried. So you do bring the boys to the yard. However, he wants to cut the grass, okay? So don't be upset at you being beautiful and him not being so quite crazy about it all the time. You know, always finding stuff to nitpick at and always, having other things to do and spending elongated times with males instead of you. Don't you worry about that. You're still beautiful. That takes nothing away from you. However, we're going to need you to be beautiful enough to know when you need to remove yourself from a situation where you might be the beard and you actually do want some real love. But for some of you, you already know you're a beard because you're kind of down low yourself. And you tell yourself that one day his money is going to make you love him when honestly you really just want to do scissors with your other beautiful girlfriend. So go on and be free out in the meadow, okay? Don't live a lie, alright? Don't live a lie. Because DL women could be much more vicious than some of you guys, okay? You start to think things in your head when you can't get a woman to do exactly what you want them to do. So you try to subject them to men who you think would make them submit. And then you try to be the woman who comforts them in hopes that you can hunch on them too. So you guys are just as predatory as the guys out here. So I'm just letting some of us women know that just because she's a beautiful woman doesn't mean she's a girl's girl. Some girls can be just as vicious as some of these Dahmer-like guys, all right? So be aware. You have seen Players Club. You have seen Ronnie. She wasn't ugly by far, but her habits, her behavior, and the way she did Diamond, it has been studied, and unfortunately, it's being copied and duplicated as we speak. So be careful. We did just get through Friday night and Saturday night. So there are going to be a few people praying a little extra hard and looking a little extra weird this morning because they're trying to wash away what happened in the last 48 hours, okay? Be aware, be aware. And oh my gosh, it came to me. There was a big old trend in the last few years where there were a lot of women that were volunteering to go bald. I'm just going to tell you, half of them were going bald because they had no other choice. But the other ones were doing something like a ritual. They were being welcomed into their little secret societies. And that's why they ended up bald with the longest eyelashes. It was not just a trend. They were being initiated into some things that we're all starting to learn about. So there were a lot of wigs being worn, not just because people had cancer, not because people were not just because people were being lazy. There were hidden rituals that you weren't supposed to know anything about. So a lot of people had to get used to wearing wigs because When they get done, it's like the witches. You remember that movie, The Witches, when they all went to the conference and the grandmother was there with her grandchild, and they ended up bewitching him and his friends and turning them into mice because they were going to consume them at the conference. It's exactly that. When they're all alone, they lock up the room and they take off their wigs and they scratch their heads because that's their initiation. They meet up. They had to initiate by getting bold and staying in rooms for however long, whatever the babalao or whoever told them. You have to understand that spirituality is nothing to be ignorant about now or days, okay? We have a lot of forces and principalities that we have to fight against, and if you don't stay prayed up, I don't know what you're going to do. No, I'm not a Christian. For the ones who are thinking it in the back of their minds, I am definitely spiritual because I don't want to be in any box that binds my hands and tells me that I should just turn the other cheek and never fight back. I appreciate knowing that I can not only turn the other cheek, but I can also keep traveling that way to get far out of your reach. Does not mean that I will not defend myself. It just means that I will not fight for no cause. Hope that helps. Protection is a must. So set your intentions, especially collective, as you sleep, because the cowards like to try to get the least resistance as possible. Because if they were actually upfront people, they'd come to you and tell you, I don't like you, and I would like you to stop making money. I would like you to not eat. I would like you to have a eating disorder. I want you to unalive yourself because it makes me feel like less of a person, that a person like you exists. I tell people that you are a myth. I tell people that you don't look that way. I tell people that you don't smell that way. I tell people that you're an awful person. And the reason why I have to tell people that is because they won't talk to me if you exist. They're going to ask me to invite you to the parties, and I won't ever get attention again. Some people need to tear you down because that's the only thing that makes them feel built up. And that's insecurity. It is not our jobs, collective, to make these people feel comfortable on this earth, especially when they've gone out of their ways to make us feel less than. They've gone out of their way to get us out of employments, out of buildings, out of groups, out of opportunities. They've gone out of their way to get us out of relationships, out of connections. They've gone out of their way. Always lying and never telling anyone that they are the ones in the background. They are the shadows. They are the bugs that you hear in the night. They fashion themselves as crickets and make noise so that they can annoy you, so that you look less than rested in the morning. However, when you show up, because you know a thing or two about yourself and you know how the haters do hate, and you still keep showing up, collective, they really, really hate it because they have to go back to the drawing board yet again, and only the people that vibrate as low as them still keep listening to them change all the details every couple of days, every couple of weeks, every couple of months, so that they continue trying to steal from your reputation, steal from your legend, steal from your bank, steal from your ideas, steal from your page, steal from your lingo, steal from your lyrics. They're always trying to steal. Hands up, it's a robbery. Please get the fuck away from me. I have no more currency. This is straight up debauchery. It's a shame. It's a shame. The way you mess around with my heart. It's a shame. The way you hurt me. It's a shame. The way you mess around with. Okay, so somebody's going through it. It's a got to be a shame. Oh. All right, okay. Let me not do that because we can be in here getting some things done. All right, so somebody's old school hurt They old school hurt, but they in the new school, so they're gonna have to lick their own wounds. Somebody's carrying some very, very. I mean, these wounds got on corduroys. I'm trying to tell you, these wounds are. Zoop, 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 zoop. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Somebody's carrying wounds that they haven't even made people privy to, yet they make people hurt because of them. These are wounds that they hide deep, deep down, but they take them out on everybody that they meet in the present. And there are some people that are starting to realize that there is no helping this person. This person is always coming through with a sob story, a cry story, and they've always got a reason for why they've done somebody yet worse again. Yet they haven't told the truth yet about how butthurt that they are. Someone's really hurt that they have to hide exactly who they really, 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 really love. And they're a bit ashamed of it because it happened so long ago. And they're ashamed because they really love this person. And it's taboo. It's like forbidden love. They were raised to be a certain way, and they're looked at as the family backbone, so it feels a bit weak knowing that they have this deep love for this individual that they feel is forbidden love. I'm trying to remember the lyrics. It's a really old song. I think it's sang by the Momentums or something. And it's a really beautiful love ballad. And this person used to play it around me, and it became very apparent that this wasn't the love song that was dedicated to a woman. Even though this person deemed themselves a woman's man, a lady's man, they don't like women very much. She's really in love with a man. And it's sad to see that this person is really good at playing a ladies' man, but he's not a ladies' man at all. He's and he's got good taste in the men that he likes. He likes them very well endowed. He likes businessmen. But the only way he can attract the men that he really likes is by hanging with the women that he really hates, which are beautiful, established women. He wants to change places with them, but instead he settles for hurting them because he hurts, because he cannot be them out in the open, because he's given his family so many expectations of him. How dare he show up as less than a man? So he has to be extra macho, doing all the macho things that men do. He has to bang nails and screw screws. He has to lift heavy things. He has to have muscles. He has to have a car and a truck. He has to be the man at the grill. He has to play all these macho roles, all while loathing everything that takes him away from being the gentle brown lover he would like to be. The only time he feels as close to his old love as he wants is when he plays this music and when he drinks. He can pretend the woman that he's with is that man, all until they touch him and they remind him once again that he's not with his love. He's with someone he despises, because in a nanosecond he can imagine that person with the person that he loves, because they're both in denial. But every time he plays that song, he's with him right again. And being in the company of a woman isn't too bad until she wants to touch him. And then it reminds him again that he's not with the love of his life. And she has nothing between her legs that he desires. Yet he'll do it again because that's the part that he plays. And he can happily describe everything that happens in the bedroom with her because he can't ever describe what happens in the bedroom with him. Even though he deems it way more beautiful than being in her folds. Like, what is that? Oftentimes, when he can't really perform the way he wants to for the woman because he'd rather be with him, he'll just make up some excuse, or get real inebriated so no one can have anything. And maybe that time, that one moment, he could say, well, I have a headache, and pretend that he is the opposite sex. Because only in his mind is he safe to be who he actually is. So he runs around hurting beautiful, beautiful women, established women, women with husbands. Because if you have another husband, I can just gaslight you back to him when I don't feel like hurting you again. I'll just say something spiteful and you'll go back and I'll talk about you from today until tomorrow, hoping I never let anything slip about the man that I really love. There's a man out there that's hurt lots and lots of women to different degrees, but they can't even take it personal because he's hurting. Every time he hurts another person, he's really, really hurt because he can't really be with the love of his life. But the women that he lays with, they can be. Without having to explain, without feeling that shame, without really having to ruin his name. So both of you are out there hurting different women, knowing that you guys really want to be together, but it just don't make sense to the family because you've already painted such a vivid picture of you being macho, masculine. And the only person you really let down every time you live that lie out is you. But you tell everybody that you love yourself, so you can't let anybody see that you're letting yourself down. It would be hypocrisy. You'd rather everybody else look like a hypocrite than you. But you're hurting yourself every time you lay with a person that you don't like or love, that you don't want to protect because you want to protect yourself, although you're exposing yourself to something that you don't want to be. That's gotta be hurtful. Keep hurting yourself over and over and over again, but not committing suicide. You're staying, you're living, you're breathing every day this same lie. You're damaging the future. You're giving out advice based on this ugly, ugly monster that you've created by yourself in the dark. And you wonder why things move in the night and you can't explain them. It's because you live a double life. And you will not claim him. You know him, the other one, the person that you really are. You keep claiming this ghost and you wonder why you keep seeing apparitions. The ghost of you being straight when you are not. So many beautiful women question themselves only because they've come across you and your boo, not knowing that it was you that was waiting on the queue for him to click over. Because what you both do, both go shopping, putting all the lovely flowers in your bags, holding them hostage, treating them like rags, all because I won't say the word. It's quite offensive and it might trigger someone. But you know who you are. Even though you hide it behind the engine of a car. The lies never get far. I'm not a rapper, but I can swing a bar. Isn't it funny how far people will go to destroy someone else, all because they refuse to build themselves up? They'll walk past the tape, the crazy glue, the gorilla glue. They'll walk past the cement, They'll walk past the bond. They'll walk past the clamp. And they'll come to you. Acting as a solvent in your life, but never a binder in their own. Falling apart all the time. Falling apart all the time. And there you are, one piece. There's nothing that you fashioned to hold yourself together because you came out whole. And they tried to dissect you with the wrong tools and got upset when it broke because you're solid. Now they've got to tell people that you sold them a job that they weren't prepared for. You know it's your fault. Even though you told them that you were an original piece, you were not from IKEA. You were not pressed board. You were like oak. You were like cherry wood. You were something to be refined, preserved. Something much more like an heirloom. You were something to be passed down through generations, yet they cheapened you to some kind of Walmart doohickey put together. Put the A with the B and the C with the H. That's exactly how they tried to explain you, as though you were some cheap put together with all these stupid instructions and a few extra loose screws. This is exactly how they described you. Not even talking about the original crafter who crafted you, who sanded you down, who got you from one piece, who got you from the best wood in the forest, maybe a redwood, because they knew nothing about original anything. They knew nothing about good furniture. They knew nothing about good craftsmanship. They likened you to some shit you get from Price Busters. Yeah, it looks okay because they put a lot of lacquer on it, but it's pressed board. They got up under your upholstery and realized that they couldn't call Amazon and get a few replacements for you. Not even Temu had things that were made like you. You were crafted from one original piece. The great creator created you, crafted you, sanded you down, refined you, put a few layers of lacquer and everything on you, because only real furniture requires this type of care. No, they fastened you to something that you get out of IKEA, out of Temu, off of Amazon. Just something easily assembled and easily broken apart. They knew that if they told anybody that you were original, that you were some heavy, heavy wood, that you were the original, you actually came from something that needed to be preserved, that people would come and try to collect you. So they had to tell people that, oh, that's nothing. It's broken. I broke it. It's leaning. It's uneven. You got to put a book under it to make it not wobble. There are a few screws loose. Not even realizing you aren't built like that. You're built out of something much more sturdy and much more real. And they never have the tool to put you back together because they never had the tool to even fashion or fix them. And what's worse is that even if they had a tool that did fix them, they're way beyond assembly. All their nuts have been stripped. There's no way to screw anything in tightly, at least. You're just going to have to leave it like that. Broken, unfixable, unrepairable. Nobody can upgrade that. It has to be tossed away. And that's a reality someone is going to have to deal with. Because they wanted us, collective, to feel as though we were beyond repair. Even when they were trying to steal pieces of us to replace them. That's the only way they could have gotten people to turn a blind eye, is if they made it seem as though they were repairable, while making it seem as though we were beyond repair. And if they did that, then maybe people would close their eyes and allow them to steal our parts. Not even realizing that we had no parts that fit with them. None of our parts would ever be able to repair that type of damage, because we're two different models made out of two different sets of material. So there they go, falling apart, telling everybody that they can look the other way because your parts aren't good for you, but good for them. I wonder how they convince these people to look the other way. Either way, what happened in the dark is, when they got your parts and they tried to attach them, there was no way to hook it up. There was no way to fashion them with your parts. They weren't compatible. So they sit in the dark trying to force things before anybody comes in and checks to see how the work is going. Yet they sit there all broken apart and constantly deteriorating, holding pieces of you that you've given up because you're new. You've regenerated. You're always going to be a whole, even when people have tried to take pieces away from you, because you're made out of something a little bit more different than them. You're built to last. See, the thing is, when you're built so whole, the only thing a person can do is dust off the old parts and take off the pieces that don't work, because you're still a whole. You still work. You still function. You are broken beyond repair. And this is why they wanted people to put you in the dark, so that they can try to break you apart and make you unrepairable. But they got so caught up on the pieces that they stole from you, trying to make them fit with them, that they lost sight of things. And you were able to be picked up and dusted off, and someone actually picked you up and said, hey, this is really okay like it is. I don't even need to add extra parts, but if I do, it'll make it better. So while they sit there trying to force narratives of pieces that they stole from you in the dark, knowing that they don't quite fit, because this is Z. How would Z fit into C? And how would H fit into I? How is that working when they're not? There's so many different parts and we're two different things. But you sit there trying to force them, and the person that you told to come back and check on you in a little while is on their way. And you hear them getting closer, ever so closely, to the door to check on you, because you lied and said that if they look the other way, you could get yourself back to 100% spiffy if they allowed you to take a piece of the collective. So now the door is opening, and there you are, still fragmented, still sitting there with the pieces that you tried to steal from the collective. And what's crazy about it is, the pieces that you stole from the collective are still good. They're still fresh. They're still waiting to be used, but they can't be used by you, because in comparison, now that the person is actually seeing the pieces that you tried to steal, and now that they see them all close up to you, there's not a match. And now they're trying to figure out, what are you on to? What are you up to? What was the point of removing those things when they don't fit in your life? They don't align with you. Those pieces look way newer than you are. So how are you going to make that work? And you sit there with your excuses. Well, you see, well, if the, and you can't even fashion a real sentence, because it's not, you're forcing things. But you go ahead, because the person that's really original, that still can be salvaged, the person that still remains whole and still functional, even though you tried to take the labels off, you tried to take the paint, the body still remained usable. The use still remained. And you broke yourself apart for nothing. Case in point. So, all right. We can do expression and oracle for a long time, but I'm trying to tell you that's what somebody's feeling right now. They broke a whole person apart because they felt fragmented, and the people that they take, company with, they allowed them to, thinking that that was going to fix that person, but they actually had to sit there and watch that person unravel because they were trying to force something that was never going to be true. No matter who enabled, no matter who coddled this person, it was never going to be true. So instead, now they blame everybody for allowing them to make a fool of themselves. But really, it was them that wanted to make a fool of themselves. So you see how you could enable a person and they would still turn around and bite the hand that fed them every time, because they never wanted to be the one to blame. They just wanted to be the one to claim the fame. They don't ever want to be the one in shame. Call them devil or by name. All right, so that was that. Let's get on with it. Yesterday we did read Psalms 137, right? I did not pick a Psalms at all this morning. I didn't even pick a Bible verse. I didn't pick anything. So here we are. I'm picking it right now. Okay, Psalms 24. Psalms 24. Let me drink a little bit of water. I've been talking for a little while. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing from the Lord, and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob, Selah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah. Selah, so let it be. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Amen. All right. So that was Psalms 24. Psalms 24. Yep. Right under the famous one, Psalms 23. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yesterday, I did something. I popped a bottle of straight. Yes. I haven't been selling it. I have not been putting it on the website because I have a lot of saboteurs working very hard. They're working against my page. They're trying to mess with my numbers, my likes. They're trying to copy and paste. They're doing a little bit of everything in the background. If you see any bad reviews, they're lying because they haven't bought anything. I haven't been selling anything just because. Sometimes you have to let haters hate for a while so that you can know exactly how to move the fuck around. But like I said, I opened up my own brand. Oh my goodness, this was giddy, right? And to say that it was like booming out, the flavor was good, very creamy. But this is the thing, I have to work on the formula because it just, as soon as I tipped the bottle, it just went pop. Okay, the champagne is definitely champagning. Not going to lie to you, it is great when it comes to IBS. If you had Crohn's, I think it would work for a person that has Crohn's disease. See, it does a little thing to your bio health, right? So not only is it champagne, it's also gut healthy. And when I do the infusion, it's also a nice social drink, okay? Just as I can specialize each of the bottles. Other than that, that's what I have to say about the brand of Street. I did Giddy. What did I also do? Let me get a bottle and show you. And this is a bottle of pineapple. So I did Melody, Peace, Giddy, and there's Strawberry Royale. I haven't done strawberry any batches of Strawberry Royale because between the peaches and the strawberries, you have to be very, very careful when it comes to the fruit. It's not like wine. Wine is where you can kind of brutalize the fruits. Champagne is a very, very different animal, okay? And being as though I wasn't born in Champagne, Italy, the fact that I was born Champagne means that I'm going to use my name the way I want to. Yeah, it's my real name. So, here it is. This is Peace. Pineapple. This is a pineapple situation, okay? Gut health. Totally organic. No sugar. I don't use any sugar. All natural ingredients. And did I mention that it's good for gut health? See, this is one of the main reasons why you guys are chasing me around the city. This is that, and the fact that I have a book. This is why you guys are chasing me around the city, and this is why my mom hates me, is because the only thing she did create was a bunch of fucked up relationships and some kids, okay? And she kind of hates the fact that I did more with my life than just be liked, okay? So there's a lot of situations to where people don't like the fact that I shoot straight from the hip. I'm not a liar, and I'll tell the truth. And the fact that they brutalized me from my childhood and I don't look like it and I don't act like it, it really pisses them off because I was supposed to be all, it's me. You know, it's not to like throw any jabs at anybody who is broken apart by it, but I'm just not the one. I saw those lemons and I decided I was going to make champagne out of it. Fuck a lemonade. I need some buzz. So I took my name and I took my personality and I wound them up and I wound them up and I expressed myself. And so they decided that they were going to pummel me. Hey, Buzz, I'm in your room. You better come out and get me now. Remember that part on Home Alone? Yeah, those are the type of siblings I had. They always had to abuse me, gaslight me. When their friends would come around, they would definitely find a way to karate chop me or something just to make themselves look some kind of way. They're still corny now. This is exactly why you guys have been sequestered to kind of chase me around the city because they know that that shit is obvious abuse. However, they still aren't that great of people. They might have come up with some shit, but they didn't come up with what I came up. So they had to get the Wicked Witch to, okay, you gotta go get your little sister because she's making us look a little way. All we were able to do was listen to what other people said and look for their validation. Not your little sister. She's not even looking for our validation. So we're going to abuse her and give out our information and let people attack her because what does she think she is? A creator? What does she think she is? An influencer? We're going to show her. We're going to leave her and let everybody attack her. And then when everything looks too bad, we're going to come in and try to save her. No, you won't. Stay your funky ass right where he is. When these things start coming in, when things start changing, don't knock on my door. Don't send me no kite. Don't do no interviews, because I'm going to do an interview right on back on you and tell you how you's a damn liar, tell you how you's an imposter, and a little bit more. Because the way y'all decided y'all wanted to lie on me when y'all know I know the truth about y'all needs to be studied. It really should be studied. But back to what I was talking about. The trouble came when I came up with my own way to get money. See, they kept calling all my jobs, they kept trying to sabotage my cars, everything. So when I got to a situation where I can generate my own by myself, they decided that they were going to try to sabotage that. Because how dare I survive without them? Of course, they're upset. I didn't want to turn into a prostitute. I'm not interested in taking a lot of explicit drugs. I'm not interested in being in CPS. I'm not interested in being adopted. I'm not interested in having my kids taken away from me and putting them in adoption. I'm not going to be selling no food stamps, nor no booty. I'm not trying to do none of that. I'm just trying to live. And I wish the good people or wherever people of the world would just help y'all to understand that y'all should stop interfering, stop going into my boundaries, stop trying to check my medical records. Leave me the hell alone. Y'all don't help me pay for nothing, clean nothing, take care of nothing, watch nothing, raise nothing. So why should y'all have the right to interfere in a nigga life? I'm just saying. Why? I never asked for your hand in marriage. I never asked for your roommate. I never asked you to pay my bills. I never asked for you to co-sign. I didn't ask you to do nothing but respect me and leave me alone. What I ask your husband do, don't call me, don't talk to me, don't look my way because your wife is insecure. And the last thing I need you to feel is though you got a chance over here. And what your little ugly husband do? Oh, she touched me. I didn't touch his ugly ass. He knew you were insecure enough to try to come at me for it. So he triangulated you against your own dang household and you tore down the walls of your own kingdom trying to fight a monster that you sleep with. Then you sent your junior to do the same thing. It's just amazing how people's insecurities can be easily fed. And then you got all of these people running around me and they're insecure, and you use their insecurity to seek them on the collective. Not just me. You've done that to a lot of relationships. This is what you do. You have to beware of chaos agents. They pretend as though they're with you and your family. They gather information. They gather access to your kids. And next thing you know, there's a big old witch hunt because somebody cannot make you break. Stop it. I'm not giving you no Oreo things first thing in the morning. You have what you have. This one tries to be a snack bully. But I can also understand that's also a projection. Somebody wants me to go through things with my kid. But guess what? I'm blessed enough to tell my kid, go sit down somewhere because you are very well taken care of. I also know that the projections will make certain things happen because there are people collective. You got to be careful with rage baiting. There are people that are sent out and they're trying to get a picture of you showing your tail. They're trying to get a picture of you yelling and being unreasonable because they need some type of evidence so that they can take to court, so that they can get a power of attorney, so that they can justify keep chasing you around, or so that some of that spell work can actually attach. They can actually get you to vibrate low enough so that something that they did can attach to you. So it's very imperative that you mind your temperance. It's very imperative that you don't get too angry, not unless it's warranted. This is the thing. It has to be warranted anger. It has to be warranted offense. Other than that, you're being judged to the hilt. Because there are some people who don't want you to live your life normally, yet they can be arrogant. They can be greedy. They can be gluttonous. They can be salacious. They can overindulge. But the minute you try, there are some things that they've set up for you. So you have to be careful because those who know better get judged the worst. So if you know better, make sure you do better because there are shadows against the castle walls. There are spies. There are people that are sent in to watch everything you do while ignoring everything they've done. It's unfair, but it's going to be unfair when your blessings come through. And they're going to be watching you. And that doesn't mean that they're going to lighten up on you once your blessings come through. That means that they're going to keep an eye on you. You see, the thing about being a spiritual star is way different than being one of those Hollywood stars. You got a different kind of paparazzi on you. And spirituality ain't for everybody. So everybody over there, it's not looked on light. So if you're going to keep dabbling your fingers, if you're going to keep setting up them altars, if you're going to keep giving up them sacrifices, if you're going to keep putting down those offers, you better be careful and you better beware. Because the things that might save you, had you did it on the 3D, they can't save you in the 5. All right, so let's get over to the tarot. Oh, turn it down, boo. Turn it down. Thank you, sweetie. All right. So happy Sunday to those who are getting up and they're going to go over there and to the altar. Hopefully it's not been desecrated by you know who's. You know they use those altars for other doctrination at times. You never know what the building is being multi-used for. That's how they get a lot of tax write-offs. People get paid to use the space, even when they're using it, and it's not. I remember that happened. They wanted to have church in a comedy club that I used to frequent a lot, and it was weird because the comedian, the head comedian, he kept making a joke about it. He said they wanted to use it for free, but then he started putting certain things up, and they started the more popular he made the club look, the more money they started wanting to pay him to hold the church in there. So eventually he got them to come up off of quite a bit of money in the name of Lord. So that was the offering. I didn't tell the joke how he told the joke because that's his joke, but honestly, it's something like that. It's a multi-purpose. Someone has used a supposedly a sacred altar to do way more things than what you believe. So some of them churches that you walking up in, that altar is not as blessed or anointed as you would believe. You wouldn't believe some of the things that happen off hours, out of saint hours, the hours that are not of the saints. Okay, all right. So we've got a third party situation going on here. We have the Hermit and we have the Chariot. Okay, I think the Chariot is Cancer. The Hermit is definitely Virgo, and we have the Three of Pentacles. Let's see. Three of Pentacles, first thing in the morning. That is Capricorn. We're starting in Capricorn. We're going to end in Sagittarius. Okay, the Three of Pentacles. To accomplish success, expertise, and mastery of skills are required. Your hard work and dedication have created a firm foundation for your success. Mars and Capricorn collaborating with others, dedication to work. Like I said, there are shadows on the castles. There are some people that are hidden factors here, okay? There are some people that are coming in and they're coming in fast. There are going to be some good and some bad people that are coming in fast. Some are going to be coming to try to protect you and defend you. But there, for the most part, there are some people that are coming in to sabotage and watch you. There are some false witnesses coming in to watch you. So even whatever you show them, they're still going to lie. So it's best you just be authentic, okay? Because at the same time where you're going to have some false witnesses coming in, you also have some real ones that are there just watching what falls out. Those are going to be your supporters, your spirit tribe, and it's also a few investigators that are kind of in invested in watching this thing fall out too. Okay, so be mindful of your authenticity, as there are people watching from both sides of the coin. Okay, and you have this hermit here, which is very hidden, hidden introspect, like it's somebody watching outside of a window, outside of a crevice, outside of a car, somewhere in the dark, somewhere perched, somewhere where you're not supposed to see, but they're supposed to see you. All this is happening very fast. All this is happening right now, and it's going to be happening in the near future for a little while. Okay, we're going to say up until October. In October we'll get into it again, but September, October is going to be very significant when it comes to this. So we have the 3, we have the hermit, which is a 9. Hold up, let me see. I believe that the hermit is a 9. I believe the hermit, yep, it's a 9, which is Virgo. I believe so. And the chariot is going to be the Cancer. Okay, that is the Cancer. So we have Capricorn, Virgo, and Cancer. This is a Capricorn reading. Okay, there are shadows on the walls of the castle. There are people sneaking around, and you beware of the paparazzi. There's good and bad. There's some that come to prove a point. There's some that come to dismantle you. Be aware of your authenticity at this time. We have a 3 and a 7. That is 10 plus 9. That is 19, which is 10. Wish fulfillment. Hey, if you are who you say you are, a superstar, okay, you got to understand, when you ask to be an influencer, when you became a leader, whether you like it or not, there are always going to be people watching you. People are going to talk about you one way or another. Be careful of who you are and what you represent, and go forward and be that unapologetically. This is why I say authenticity is a must. They can't say you're phony if you're consistent, okay? If you're always you behind closed doors and out in the public, it's because this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. You asked for influence. You asked for power. You asked for fame. You asked to be seen. You wanted people to hear you and listen and hear you out. I know when I became a writer, when I wanted to sing, when I took the stage, there were things that were going to come with that. I was going to have people that I wanted to watch me, and there were going to be people that I didn't want watching me. Either way, it's going to happen the same. So this is a fine line. Success looks different to everyone. Just know that if you have anything of importance to say, if you have anything of importance to express, you're going to attract people from both sides, good and bad. Are you ready? This is what you asked for. The weight of success will be heavy at times. Can you handle it? All right? That's why you got to get a nice workout routine, not only for your body, but for your mind. This can be pressure at times, and everybody cannot handle pressure, all right? Pressure can burst the newest of pipes. PVCs, copper ones, iron, steel, whatever. Just be sure that you can weather. All right? Okay. That is the Capricorn reading. 19 turns into 10, and that is the wish fulfillment. If you are who you say you are, you're a superstar. The crowd is here and the lights are on, and they want to know if you are who you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The camera's here and the lights are on, and they want to know, yeah. Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco, okay? Aquarius, what's up? What you looking for? You want some water? Oh, you want the rest of your food? I made Chipotle bowls yesterday. Oh my goodness. I made it with ground chicken, but I had to change some things. I didn't have the whatever sauce that they be having. I put like some French onion dip on it. Still turned out good. Replaced the sour cream. Very good replacement. Here you go. All right. So, here we are in Aquarius. We got the Magician here. All right now. Manifesting. We have the 10 of Nope, that's the Nine of Pentacles. And we have the Page of Wands. Thank you very much. All right, so we've got the Magician here, which is the manifester, the magic manifester. And it is, let's show everyone that you are capable of, what you are capable of. It is your time to rise and shine. Okay, manifester. Anybody with the Aquarius in their chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, this is your reading. Power of manifestation having a strong influence. That would be you, collective. This is the Aquarius. Take what resonates, and here is the Nine of Pentacles. Let's see. The Nine of Pentacles is saying to us, your life is replete with wealth, prosperity, abundance, and luxury. Be thankful for everything you got and stay humble, finding abundance and being self-sufficient. Now, when we say wealth and prosperity, it doesn't always mean that you've got a lot of money. What it means is that you've got the potential. You've got what it takes. Everything that you need is within you. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to write a song. Maybe you want to use your sewing machine to create that nice silhouette that you saw, and maybe you could do some changes to it. Maybe you've got a chair or two you'd like to reupholster. Maybe there's a meal that you'd like to serve, and that's that one thing that you do in the kitchen that makes everybody go crazy. You have what it takes to get to the next level. Are you ready? Are you ready for everybody to talk? Are you ready to fight against bad reviews and good reviews? Are you ready? Because you're going to have a thick skin, especially when you're stepping out into the public, okay? So, be mindful, be fruitful, be expressive. Find abundance and being self-sufficient. You've got everything it takes. Use what you got, and you'll definitely get what you want. Not in those ways, not unless you're in those ways, okay? And then we've got the Page of Wands. All I'm saying is, be who you are, unapologetically. There are some people that can't ever be them ever, and that worries them. But you being you, it worries them even worse, because how dare you, when I've quelched everything in myself and deadened myself to be validated by everybody else, and here you are having the nerve to be you, and people actually like it. They hate you for it. They really do. For you to be bold enough to be you, and for them to be so sad about being them, is something that should have been studied. Either way, we've got better time or better things to do with our time. Commitment. Page of Wands. So, she was free in her wildness. She was a wanderess, a drop of free water. She belonged to no man and to no city. A sovereign type of person. Expressing yourself and having limitless potential. This is all in alignment. Okay, Aquarius, go forward and be great. We have the 1 and the 9, which is a 10. And we've got the Page of Wands, which is wish fulfillment. Go forward and be great. The world is waiting, okay? Everybody is salivating. They're drooling over you. They love what you got going on. And some of us who like drama, they love your enemies. They like what they've got to say, and they like laughing at them after they watch them put their foot in their mouth every week, every day, or every month, and then they come back and see your progress. They love how your enemies look defeated, and how they like their brows, and how they just they look and they say, hey, is it making you mad that they're not exactly what you told me that they were going to be? Huh? Is it? Some of you are great fuel, great antagonistics, great when it comes to instigating. It's like somebody's sitting right there and they're watching your enemy in the face just for shits and giggles. Isn't that grand? You bring people together one way or another. Petty. Look at what we got at the end of the deck. The devil. How did he pop up? I guess it's because I was laughing. Someone blew some of that breath over here on my cards. It's like I'm in a Western. Western sometimes, and he keep trying to walk me down. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Virgo season. This is the beginning of your story. Ay. Doom, 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 the beginning of your story. All right, Virgo. No, it's not Virgo, but it's Virgo season. Pisces. Equally annoying to me, but that's of my own volition. Don't worry, it's not yours. It's me. It's me expressing. Oh boy. Express yourself. Don't tell me what I cannot do, babe. Express yourself. Believe in me. Express yourself. Don't tell me what I cannot do, baby. Come on and rock your body. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Rock that. Boom, boom, boom. That was back when we had some good old collabs. You could go from a good singing part to a nice rap collab, and everything was all good. You understood what everybody was saying. People were still being respectful of one another. But now we just got to just this old ragged ass music. Long as it's to a nice beat, it's like we will recite some real busted stuff over and over again. Even the little song that came out the other day, baby, I just want to dance. I just want to dance. If you listen to the rest of the lyrics, it's like, dang, it's some ratchetness going on. And it's catchy. It's contagious. All right, so we got the Knight of Wands in Pisces. Then we've got the King of Pentacles. Then we've got the King of Swords. Okay, we have no numbers here. So let's read what's going on with the Knight of Wands. So somebody's young, immature, and, excuse me, they're a knight. So we've got some minors, major minors. Look, we got major minors, minor majors, misdemeanors. Let me read because I'm trying to figure this out because it's Knight of Wands, King of Pentacles, and King of Swords. So there are three men. One is younger than the other men. There's two men. It's three men. There's a young man involved, or there's young energy involved. There's an immaturity to the men. Someone has the money and somebody has the nerve. One's the earn boy. One is the resource, and the other one is the muscle. Now this could be multiple people, but this could be like a group, but this looked like three men, like three major players. I'm going to say it was more than that, but it looks like it's just these three. It's down to these three. Look at them. And they seem to all have this set look on their face. Now, this is a deeper reading for some reason, Pisces. The King of Pentacles can be a woman or a man, the one with the money. It could be a couple. They give orders. They spend out money. But there's one guy that's really taking this personal. He the muscle. He feel as though his price gonna go down if he can't get this done. This one already done sold themselves short. They just feel embarrassed at the whole situation. They gotta stay the course because they told people that they had thicker skin than this. So they're gonna ride it out because they trying to save face. These people trying to ride it out because they trying to keep themselves from litigation and persecution. This person trying to keep their reputation up. They don't really care if they go to jail. They got some way to get out of that. They got a way to land safely. Even if they do go to jail, they're going to land soft. But they just got a reputation to keep. This one pride. This one freedom. This one reputation. Either way, all this some shallow stuff that they standing on, because none of it is the truth. So regardless of what point everybody has to prove, it's not the truth. There's no number because they don't count. In the bigger scheme of things, they don't count. This Knight of Wands in Pisces, this King of Pentacles, and this King of Swords. There's no gender in tarot, bitches or bullshit. So whether it's men or women that's in this, I think it's a real big group. And it's the personalities fluctuate. Either way, they all don't matter in the scheme of things, because if you're making one person matter outside of all these people collected, if there has to be a group of more than 10 people against one person, what does that say about you? Obviously, you are who you say you are, because they got to get together to try to make you who they want you to be. Yeah, I was getting sick of that. But yeah, that part. That's the Pisces reading. There are a bunch of people with a bunch of titles who are living a lie. They didn't earn it. They don't own it. And they're really trying to find a way to solidify it. But they don't understand that they're the only ones that believe in that. Everybody else is already looking at them like the clowns they are. They just haven't come into reality yet. They tell themselves, because they stick to a small group, that nobody outside the group see them. Honey, you was on a world stage. Everybody see you. Delusional at best. In the non-words of Kumbe, I like how he just does it like once again, there are shadows of the enemies outside the palace walls. Ooh, my evil thing, my evil cackle. Somebody told themselves that they were Groot, they were arch villain, despicable me. Imagine that. All right, we got this Aries here. We got an Aries energy here, and it's starting to teeter on dangerous. Dangerous for everybody around, because when a person gets obsessed, a lot of times they don't tell themselves the truth, and they believe they're the only ones that can see them. Can you see me? Yes, we can see you. Yes, we see you looking at us. Some people, when they get behind these computers, they get really, really delusional. They feel as though because they're in the room by themselves, naked, beating on themselves, beating on themselves, that no one else knows that they're behind there being weird. I mean, people can catch the pattern of a person being a weird person. Even if they don't be weird right in front of you, eventually they get the gist. They get what you're not saying, and they get the weird looks. They get the weird pauses and the silences. And they're really trying to understand, why do you spend all this time in 3D complaining about a person, telling a person that they're ugly, they're this, they're that, they're nothing, they're worthless, this and that, when obviously the world can see that there's some kind of conflicting information, and the fact that you actually signed yourself up to keep signing up and saying a bunch of stuff that nobody wants to hear makes you the weirdo that you appear to be, even though you're the only one that doesn't see that you're being weird. Did you catch that? Let me get some water. Right. Being weird to me. I don't know why. You're being weird to me. We don't know. We don't care. Keep being weird. It brings all your friends here. Keep being weird. All right. So, somebody's obsessed. Somebody's not moving. They're very stubborn when it comes overindulging. I think maybe this person might have been binge watched and they're looking for some new videos. I'll indulge. All right, so now we've got the 6, which is equal, give and take, and now they're trying to understand. They've done a bunch of love spells, whether they did it intentionally or whether they just sat there and kept thinking of a bunch of things, sitting there thinking and thinking.
Oh, I hate them. Oh, I wish they were naked. Oh, I wish I can touch them. Oh, I wish they stink. Oh, I wish they was ugly. Oh, I wish they'd do something to make me have to be able to call CPS on them. Oh, I wish their hair would fall out. Oh, I wish they were ugly. Oh, I wish they'd stop talking. Oh, I wish they'd stop standing up. Oh, I wish this. Oh, I wish that. And this person is really, really crazy, right? So the negative energy is really going to start growing in them, and it's going to manifest in some weird ways, okay? So, somebody come out of a bag on you. That's your weirdo. That's your weirdo. They've been sitting there, chanting to themselves, hoping that they see your downfall. But honestly, when they pass by every mirror, this is why they don't look in mirrors much, is they're actually seeing their own downfall and they don't like it. So they're going to try to keep projecting it on to you. Yeah. And be mindful if somebody just keep throwing things around your place. A person that wants you to be an alcoholic might keep drinking and throwing their empty containers around your place. Really doesn't prove that you're an alcoholic. It proves that they are getting drunk and they're thinking of you. I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. Frank Ocean. Awesome. The high priestess is here to say that we know, but we ain't even giving a damn. We ain't even thinking about you because we're still manifesting our moving forward, okay? And that's what's happening for the collective in this Aries. There's an Aries that's very, 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 very upset that what they're giving you is not what you're showing. You're showing something different and they're catching everything that they're putting into it back. They're getting the disappointment. They're getting the empty results. They're getting the null and the nilch where you're moving forward intuitively because you know that there are people in the streets that would love to see your downfall. However, you're not that type of person that would just give a person something just because they want it. And that's what they didn't count on. They thought that they were going to pressure you into doing something that they wanted you to do. However, it's falling back on them. They're starting to look lazy. They're starting to look dirty. They're starting to stink. All because they're laying around and they're waiting on your downfall. Some of them won't even get off of the damn computer to take a damn shower because they're scared that you might do something that they might miss. Go wash your ass. We'll wait. We don't want to smell it. All right, Aries, that has been your reading. Don't be so obsessed that you forget to go and wash your tail. Go and brush your teeth. Are you really getting on here and talking about somebody else's way of living when you haven't washed between the crack of your butt because you think that it's gay? It's something wrong with you. It's something wrong with you. There's somebody right now that gets off of trying to ruin your life, but their boyfriend or their girlfriend haven't gotten off in years. Yet here you are. It's bad that a person that won't even touch you does it for you. But the person who's there and right on time, you loathe. You're like watching them and you're looking at them like, I don't even like the way you breathe. I didn't think you were ugly from that angle, but now that I'm looking, oh God. Oh. Okay, I'll be quiet. The secret is between you and I. It's a shame to be the high priestess and know without knowing that that's exactly how you feel. All right, so that was the Aries reading. Let's get on out of here. That was the 15 to the what? That's 6 of Pentacles. The 15 to the 6. That is 21. And we have the high priestess here. And the high priestess just happens to be the 2. So we have 21 plus 2. That's 23, which is 5, which is unexpected changes for the Aries. Hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to be kicked out of the energy quite a few times. A lot, actually. Don't worry about it. You're used to it. Get a little used to it like DJ Jazzy Jeff when he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know. Flying out of the front door of everybody's aura. Because they're going to kick you out of their energy when they realize that it is you that is slowing down the mojo of the group. Yeah, some people don't realize that your negative energy is the reason why they can't get any money, why they can't get any good hoes, why they can't get any good dudes to stick around. It's because they see the hate in your face. All right? Comparison can be the thief of joy. And nobody wants to look around and see you. All right, that was it for the Aries. Let's get on out of there. Okay, so Taurus, what's up? Good morning to you. We are in Virgo season. We are in pick you apart, pick me season. You know, where people try to get cuffed based on someone's insecurities or their own, where they're trying to you know, force the season, force the reason, you understand? So be careful in Virgo season, because there are some people that are very surgically trying to put themselves in situations before the holidays roll around, because they want some damn gifts. Okay, they want something from someone. All right, okay, they're looking to spend some of those kids' school days rolling around the bed with you. Okay, just hopefully they don't have a spouse that they're cheating on, you know, in the midst of things. I don't know why that messiness just came up, but hey, this is what I'm channeling. All right, this is what I'm channeling. All right, so now here we are in Taurus. What's going on? We've got the King of Cups, the World, and the Ten of Cups. So that is wish fulfillment at the end. So let's see where we begin. We have the King of Cups here, and he's sitting there looking all regal with his cup out, which means that he's plentiful, he's abundant, and maybe he's chivalrous. You know, chivalry isn't always dead. I had a few people unearth themselves from their seats and make sure that I was comfortable a few times last week, and that was very good. Thank you very much for that divine masculine energy that happens to be out there. God could use anybody. All right, all right. So now we have the King of Cups. I was just forgot that I had the page not sitting there. So the King of Cups is, it's time to uplift other spirits through your wisdom and strength, and make them learn to find a balance between head and heart. That is air and water, new beginnings, and being romantic. Okay, so we've got some divine masculine energy here, and he is saying that he is completely done with the world. The world has completed his tour, and he is ready to create his own world. He is ready for wish fulfillment. Divine masculine, how dare you be ready for Love Island? Now, you haven't told me. Tap me on the shoulder next time so I can give you a preview. All right, so there's King of Cups here. There goes that drowning. Somebody's drowning in their feelings, and they'd like to see me drown a few. They'd like to see me underwater, because this is how deep they feel about it. All right, but I'm not going. So where are we going with this? Okay. All right. So someone's definitely drowning in their feelings as I give this reading, because they don't like for me to speak anything about love, because they want me 10 times, 20 times removed from any idea of love, especially if it's not loving them. But fortunately for them, they got an attitude only a mother can love, and being as though I only have one child that I actually count, I can only say that I ain't the mama, not the mama. All right, so King of Cups here. Like I said, there's some divine masculine energy out here, and they're looking for a woman quite like you, collective. They're looking for a man quite like you. There's a lot of romance and hopefulness here going on in this King of Cups situation. Definitely ready to be romantic just in life. It doesn't always have to be romantic. It can be platonic. Somebody likes to see clean lines. Somebody likes to see clean things. They like to see things go together. They like to see things go in harmony. Even if it's not with them, they still enjoy to see a nice couple together. They like to see attractiveness. They like to see people have good times with their kids. They like to see a kid dressed nice and know that the mother took the time to get them dressed. There's a lot of divine masculine energy coming out here, even if they're not saying anything, because guess what? Our divine masculines have been under attack. The minute that they even mention or look like a divine masculine, there's a karmic masculine waiting for the drop. Some of you guys have some karmic friends that watch your friends, that watch all the women options on your timeline. They catch every woman in your algorithm. They're always checking to see what your options are, so that they can pretend to be you, or pretend to take some of the things that you do and wave them in front of some of the women who they think would be with you in their face. See, there are some people that are stealing some of your secret sauce. And they're going around women that would definitely love to be with you. And they're pretending. And that's why some of the women who you think would be open to you sometimes refute you, is because they've been catfished by some of your friends that have been closest to you. They've been catfished by your brother, your cousin, sometimes your stinking ass father who don't no longer like your mother. They said, yeah, my son gets bitches. I'm going to act exactly how my son acts, and I'm going to get his bitches. Some of you are going to find out that your father has been the third party in some of your situation. Might even be someone who might need to take some of that paternity test. That's for some of you. Your dad is the third party. This is exactly why he's so invested in that house more than you. That's for somebody. If you go over and your dad happens to be sitting at the table with your girlfriend all the time, you need to start checking some situations, especially when dude don't even be with your mom like that. That needs to be studied. That needs to be studied. Some of you have brothers, homeboys, and cousins that love to be over at your house when you're not there. They like to go knock on your door, or they like to be on your girl's social media telling you everything that they think that your girlfriend is doing in hopes that you treat her bad and leave her so that they can have an opening to go and try to comfort her. Yeah, you saw the hunch happen at the comfort her. He's not going over there just to comfort her. He's going over there hoping that there's an opening for him to slide in. And he's hoping that one of those lies or some of the things that he said to you has gotten him an opening. This is what it looks like. You come in, you've already heard some stuff that one of your homeboys said about your woman. Not even questioning, why are you stalking my woman and why are you so invested in giving me details that I didn't ask you about my woman? See, this is how they catch you off guard. And because you don't want to say anything to your girlfriend, you go in, you got an attitude with her because your homeboy has been spying on somebody who you are interested in. But because you don't want to say how men be gossiping, you got an attitude with her because you don't know whether or not what he said was true. So now you're treating her some kind of way, and now she doesn't have you to talk to. So now you created a gap in your own home because you won't address the issue. You don't want her to feel as though you gossiped, even though that's what happened. So you don't take the gossip to her despite it being about her. So now you're listening. So now you have an attitude, and now she can't talk to you. And now she has no man for however long you're going to be on your period. That was enacted by your boyfriend. My bad, your homeboy being messy. So now your homeboy, who's already started it because he knew whatever he said was going to change your attitude, because you always pillow talk with your homeboy, so he knows what to say to get you to act stupid. So now you got an attitude with your girlfriend. Your girlfriend, you're not giving her any, and she hasn't had any, and she's missing your touch. And your homeboy knows this because you tend to tell him shit you ain't got no business telling him. Yeah, I'm mad with her right now. She ain't getting no D. What you said the other day, I had to think about that because not even realizing that you're giving your homeboy everything he needs to go in and take your girl. And now he makes you a joke in your own house. And you've made yourself a joke because you are now infiltrated by thoughts. Thoughts that are not your own. So now the trap has been set. So now when you're at work, because your homeboy know your schedule because y'all be on the phone all the time. Now that you are at work, your homeboy know about that thing that you won't fix because you ain't fixed it yet because now you got an attitude. So he goes over and he said, yeah. Without even saying, I can fix some things for you. You want me to fix it? And because you've been acting stupid all day, she don't see no harm in letting you fix anything. So now your homeboy in there. And even if y'all didn't do anything that time, he's in there. And you go home and now suspicion is jumped in your head because you left your door wide open. You did a Bruno Mars in reverse. You left it wide open. So now you go in and now you looking at your homeboy sitting under your sink or sitting somewhere in your house fixing something. Something that you told her that you were going to fix a couple of weeks ago. And now because you don't even want to say how everything originated, you got to sit there and you've got to fume. And now the voices are getting louder in your head. Is he sleeping with her? How did he get in here? What's happening? Is she sleeping with him because you're so loyal to your homeboy who started the bullshit in the first place? You ain't gonna put him out. You're gonna argue with her. Why you let him in here while I'm not here? And he's sitting there laughing because damn, he got you. Hooks, line, and sinker. Now you insecure. Now he can feed off of your insecurity. And he can feed off of the fact that now you got an attitude with her. And now you're not going to treat her very well because you won't admit that you got caught. You got caught sleeping. You got caught off your P's and your Q's. Now homeboy can do whatever he want in your house because now your insecurity has gotten you paralyzed in the tongue. You don't want to speak because you done already did too much. You done opened up the door without saying a lot because you don't want to say what y'all be saying. So now homeboy come back over again because you already let it slide the first time. You never said nothing to him. You argued with homegirl. And now she mad at you because you keep arguing with her. So now he can go in for the kill whenever he want, or he can send somebody else. And see, that's how y'all be poking holes in your own basket. Y'all be opening up for the homies and don't even realize it. Now you done lost your number one stunner because your homeboy didn't want you with her. You don't know if your homeboy got a crush on you or her, but you'll never figure it out because your pride keeps you from saying the things that matter. You say all the things that don't. Now there's no trust nowhere around you. You don't even trust yourself because you not trusting yourself is what started it. You're not going home and asking about the social media and putting things right or doing your own research is what started it. You went home ready to start with that woman. And you opened it up to that man. And now 20 years later, they married to each other because you couldn't trust yourself or tell the truth. And he was willing to take a chance, which is get over on you because you wasn't going to do nothing because you hide things from yourself. You don't really deal with the truth. So now you stuck with the coulda, woulda, shouldas and you hurt. And now every woman from now on out is a B, is a slut, is a hoe, can be compromised. But you were the one that compromised her in the first place. But you'll never admit that to yourself. So now you spend the rest of your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, however old you are, mad about that one situation that got out of control because it was in your control, but you let it get out of hand. And now you can't trust no woman because you could never trust yourself because you could never trust your homeboy, but he set you up. And you fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. You lost the best thing that you could have had because you let it go so easily. You let it slip through your hands, not even holding it tight. You were so ready to jump at the first sign of suspicion, but the only person that was really suspicious was you. And then your homeboy played you right into his hand because he wanted what you had and you didn't want it that much because look how easily you gave it up. All he had to do was sow a seed of doubt. Mustard! How powerful that seed could be. So you be careful because people can plant seeds and take your life. Just like that. Taurus, somebody has busted you up. The power of doubt, the power of suspicion has basically made you a pawn in your own life. Somebody saw you with something that you really wanted and they were able to separate you from it. Call it a demon, call it a devil, call it an entity. Call it your friend, call it your homeboy, call it your mother, call it your cousin. Call it your homie, lover, friend. Somebody was able to sow a seed and bust up everything. And now you sitting there with your coulda, woulda, shoulda. Somebody's going to have the exact same thing that you thought was trash. Somebody's going to turn your trash into treasure. And you're going to have to sit there. You're going to have to deal with it. Because I doubt whoever this divine masculine is and this Taurus energy with this 21 world completion, who sees whoever you threw away as everything, where you tried to cast them as nothing because you didn't want nobody else to get them, they see wish fulfillment with the same thing you thought was nothing. So there's somebody sitting there hurting. They hurt. They did their big one. They thought that they was shutting down things. They thought that they was crossing their T's and dotting their I's, but honestly, they were just living a lie. Somebody got away with your winnings. All they had to do was plant a seed, and they destroyed everything that was a possibility for you. And you let them. You watered it. You nurtured it. You helped manifest it into a whole situation. All they knew what they needed to do. They saw it. They planted that one mustard seed, and they watched it grow, and they watched you nourish it. You didn't even know you were helping bust up your own dreams until you saw it as a nightmare. And now you've got to go to sleep. Poor thing. Taurus, divine masculine, you are the king of cups. You got air and water in the situation. 21 is the world. 21 is the world. That's world. That's the creation. That's creation. That's 21. That's the creator. That's divine intervention. And it's taking you until your dreams come true. So that turns into a 31, which turns into a 4. Somebody's about to get a brand new foundation based off of the one that you threw away. Dag, Taurus. So let's see what the 21 is. Let's see what the world is. Dag. Somebody tricked you out your spot and you let it happen. Dang. That's Saturn. We're in conflict. We're in Saturn conflict, which is our retrograde, which is all the things that did not come about, that were not made sense of. They're going, all the confrontation and everything has to be brought to the forefront. And the King of Cups, we already said that's air and water. And now we've got the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups. That's Pisces. So we've got Pisces and Saturn in this Taurus reading. Yep. Somebody destroyed the very thing that would have brought them wish fulfillment. They gave it up. Somebody lost their spot. Move your feet, lose your feet. No, move your feet, lose your seat. Yep. Somebody lost in the game of musical chairs. They thought they were the ones with the tune. They thought that they was the Pied Piper. Not at all. Not at all. All right, Gemini, Ace of Pentacles, High Priestess. What's up, baby? What's up, baby? What's going on? And then we've got the 6 of Pentacles. All right, High Priestess. Geminis, how you doing, collective? Ace of Pentacles is saying that we have a beautiful, beautiful, brand new beginning. Go forward and be great. Oh, man, the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. That is plant the seed of a bright future. We were just talking about mustard, huh? Plant the seed of a bright future. The universe is at your side to steer you towards stability, security, and receiving a good yield. Earth. New opportunities, manifesting growth. Remember to ground yourself. Remember to have stability. Remember, remember, remember. Boop, 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 boop. Thank you. All right, so you having new opportunities with this card and manifesting growth. Go forward and be great. Now, you do understand that as positive as you are, there are going to be some negative energies coming toward you. Remember the rage baiting. Remember your temperance. Now, we have the High Priestess. Hey, she know a lot. She don't say just about everything, but she is all-knowing. She has done an overview. All right, so unleash the power of your subconscious mind. Follow your intuition to unlock greater possibilities, which is the moon. Using your intuition, uncovering mysteries. Right. Knowing, but not always saying everything that you know, knowing that some people are only here to try to learn how to do you wrong. Now we have the Six of Pentacles. Equal give and take to the universe. What you sow is surely what you shall reap. Be careful of the energy that you put out there. It can be turned back to you. And that is the Gemini. As you go through your new beginning, remember the information that you have learned so far. And know that what you do put out can certainly be drawn back in. So be careful as you manage the balance on that tightrope that we call life. There are some people that would like to see you out of character. There are some people that do not understand what authenticity is, and they will mistake any little slight for a what? For a confirmation of them being right. But you know yourself. You know exactly what people are looking for, and you also know how your enemies are coming at you. Use that information to keep yourself on the balance of things. Remember, what you are sowing is what you are reaping. A lot of your enemies would like to see you sow a bad seed so that they can reap the reward of saying, see, I told you, but they need to go on with their childish selves. All right? All right. There you go. That is 2 plus 1 plus 6. That is 3 plus 6, which is 9. You go on and you pray. You keep up with your meditation and your divination, all right? The Bible is part of divination. Some of these people would love to hypocrite you out of your pants, but come on now, we're not doing that. We're abstinent from all that evil. All right, let's go, Cancer. Let's go. We started off in Capricorn, so we're going to end in Sagittarius. All right, here we go, Cancer. Let's slide on out. Slide some more to me, right down to my spine. Okay, that was the Tin Man. Somebody's stiff. Somebody's having muscle spasms. Something about the skeletal muscles. Something about stiffness. The rain has been coming, so somebody might have arthritis. Somebody might have some aging in their bones. They might not do well in cold, damp weather. Something like that. Somebody has something about their mobility, their body movement, their body mechanics. Somebody's getting stiff. Somebody's having some involuntary movement, maybe some muscle spasms, something like that. Who knows? But somebody's body is starting to be affected by whatever negativity. This is the thing. When you stay in negative energy too much, you never know how it's going to manifest within your body. So you got to be careful about being one of those dark workers, okay? So you got to be very careful. We have scardosis, osteoporosis. It's something about skeletal. It's something about involuntary muscle movement, something like that. So somebody's definitely got some gout going on, maybe some arthritis, maybe some carpal tunnel, maybe some plantar fasciitis, some sensitivity of the feet. So somebody needs to go see about that and stop worrying about tearing somebody else down, because hey, those backfires can be a All right, so Cancer, we have the 8, which is a binding situation. Someone is binded or blinded. Someone is binded or blinded. Someone is blind to whatever they're binded to. They can't quite see exactly all the things that they have agreed to, yet they have agreed to it. That's the thing about contracts. Even if they are oral contracts, there's fine print everywhere, all right? Especially when there are oral contracts. People didn't write it down, so you can't say or say it did happen or did not, okay? Because you agreed to it. Once you said yes, you had no idea what the intentions were in this person's mind, okay? So be careful of letting someone help you with your hair care, letting somebody help you with your facial care. Be careful of going into the services where you're getting your feet massaged, you're having other people handle your personal care. You have no idea a person's jealousy, envy, or their intentions for you. Some people can see your aura or your star before you. Unfortunately, dark workers train themselves to see a lot about you before you even notice that they're even looking, okay? So be aware of people touching the bottoms of your feet and the tops of your head, okay? Be aware of the clippings that would come from your body, be it nails or hair or whatever. They have some people that are in these different jobs that would definitely love to use a sample of your DNA to do whatever with it, okay? They have CIA, FBI agents all over the place, and you have no idea what the next conspiracy theory might turn up to be. All right, so in Cancer, we have somebody that is blinded to a contract or binded to a contract. There is somebody who likes to bind themselves to a lot of people within hopes that they'll win the lottery out of somebody. All right. Then we have this Five of Pentacles out in the cold. Someone has been pushed out or isolated or overcoming adversity. Something like that. And then we have the Four, which is Four of Swords, which is rest and restoration. Orders to relax, orders to go sit down somewhere. Somebody has probably been sat down. Somebody's powers have probably been binded. Now they find themselves in poverty and they have to go sit down, okay? That return to sender was a doozy now, was it? Return to sender, return to sender. Give dark workers something to do. Return to sender, return to sender. The collective is tired of you. All right, so somebody has definitely received some of their energy work back, and they're not really understanding what happened because they weren't explained that part to that depth. They didn't know that the energy can return in such a way to them that would affect their heart and their finances. They were thinking of maybe they wake up and the money be gone out their pocket. No, they're actually starting to receive bills, situations where they're having to spend more money than they thought, where things are costing way more than what they were quoted. Realize that there are some things that they put on auto pay that they didn't put on auto pay. Every time I'm writing, I start hitting, somebody starts trying to affect my account and start trying to mess with my numbers. Do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Let's make sure that we're staying in the algorithm because we've got some people still trying to mess with my numbers because they keep telling people that I'm a loser, but I keep winning every day. So they've got to start doing something because they feel a kind of way that I'm not up Shit's Creek where they thought that I'd be by now. Okay, they keep sending their little homeboys and homegirls through to, not get sleep and to keep an eye on me because I obviously won't be going down into the ground like they keep telling each other. So there are some people that binded themselves to whatever outcome they thought would be happening by now, and they're starting to find themselves out in the cold. They're not as popular as they thought they were. They're not getting the thing that they thought they were. They're not getting the fame, the claim, the name, the reputation that they thought they were. In fact, they're getting the reverse. People are starting to look at them and doubt them. People are starting to say, hey, you're starting to look like a hater. That person isn't anything that you said they were. In fact, they're doing really good, and it's starting to look like you are the one that's trying to poke holes in their ship. You're trying to sink their battleship. Darn. Learn who your dad is. That part. Okay, so now we've got this part. We've got the baby. They just want to dance. They just want to dance. Baby. I won't tell on you. I won't tell on you. I'm so petty. Making sure your daddy's sword ain't in here. All right, so now we got the Eight of Swords right here. Surrendering yourself to an unknown entity is letting others control you. So somebody's being controlled by others, the validation, the group think. Somebody can't think for themselves because they're part of a situation, they're bonded to a situation that basically is not putting them in the upper corpus or the upper echelon that they thought they were. So they're basically being sat down, put on the benched, something like that. Somebody need to go sit down somewhere because it ain't going the way that they thought it was going to go. So we've got the 8 plus the 4, which is 12. Overcoming restrictions, releasing a victim mentality. And then we've got the 5, that is 17. So somebody is the donkey of the day. Yay, yay. So somebody's being made to look like an asshole because that's what they tried to make other people look like. But really, that mirror, yeah. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking you to change your ways. Don't think it have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and just make a change. But you don't want to do that now, do you? But either way, we have the 17, which is an 8B on the right side of Dharma, which is karma, okay? Because everybody's starting to look at you as the main culprit. Everybody's starting to realize that the reason why things aren't going the way that they thought that they would go is because of you. Not because of the person that you claimed was the enemy. It's you. You're the one doing all the stuff. You're the one doing all the prayers, the offers. You're the one trying to make all the sacrifices. You are the one that came up with this shit. You're the one that said, hey, if we could take this person down, we can make our gifts better. We could be more talented. We could get more money. This is the way it works. And the same way you did that, you didn't tell people that you were doing magic on them because you were going to steal their stuff as they were trying to steal my stuff or the collective stuff. Either way, you didn't tell people that the thing was you're going to be doing the cloak and dagger. Everybody was supposed to be looking at that one common enemy, and nobody was supposed to be looking at the fact that you were doing collective rituals on everybody. I mean, how else did you get them to agree? You did rituals on them. That's how they began to be agreeable. Once you got everybody all hooked up, that's when everybody decided to follow your unwise advice to do something to somebody who wasn't doing anything to you. And once people figure out that you are the only one that's doing all the magic on everybody, everybody's going to turn around and get you. Oops, did I do that? I did. You thought you saw a putty tag. Wow. That used to be my part. All right, so that was you. That was you in your Cancer mood. All right. Let's do the Leo. Hey, Leo, let's get over here. Get on over here. Come on, Leo. We just left you over there. You should have been all right. You just had a birthday. You just had some celebrations. You had everybody kissing your tail for a little while. You like that because you were the main thing. You were the bee's knees for a couple of weeks now. All right, so now we're here at 3 of Wands, and we're here at this sneaky 7 of Swords, and we've got this 7 of Cups. What's going on? We've got the 377, which is taking us back to the start. What's going on? 17, all in total. Yeah, I'm talking like this on purpose. So we've got 3 elements and not the one. We've got wands and swords, and we've got cups. What we don't have is pentacles. We've got all of the devices, but we don't have the pay. What's going on? Let's find out. Leo, why do we have 3 of Wands here? Why do we have 7 of Swords here, which is very cutthroat, sneaky, strategic energy? And why are we having visions of grandeur? Is somebody going crazy out here thinking that they were going to get the coins that they've actually mentally broken themselves in a pursuance of happiness or just a pursuance of someone else's riches? Let's find out. So we have the 3 of Wands. Somebody get this girl a voiceover job. She's doing a fantastic job. You have created a firm foundation for yourself. Now it is time to plan for a secure future. Sun and Aries. Moving forward, commitment to the future. Whoa. Someone's going forward whether you like it or not, okay? Someone wants to go forward with this plan, whether they like it or not. Let's go find out. So someone still wants to continue to steal. Let's see what's happening. They're going to keep stealing until somebody puts foot in there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's chill out here. No one can hide the truth. Be true, else be ready to face the consequences. Being resourceful and admitting any betrayal. We're going to say that you're not admitting any betrayal. But if you are, come on forward. So somebody wants to confess. Somebody wants to confess what they were planning to do. Someone wants to confess on the heist gone wrong. Somebody wants to confess and maybe get a little bit of amnesty because they know that they're not going to get out of this with a slap on the wrist. Somebody wants to let it all hang out because, hey, they thought about it, they tried it, it didn't work the way they wanted to, and they've got to save face some kind of way because, hey, they've ruined their reputation, they've possibly ruined their future. The last thing they want to do is ruin it with somebody who could have possibly forgiven them, but now they don't feel quite so much. They don't quite feel so positive in that aspect. They don't feel quite so optimistic in this aspect. So somebody wants to move forward, but they're going to have to admit to this type of thievery and what they thought that they were going to get. Somebody's going to have to paint a really vivid picture. They're going to have to sing like the canary that they could be if they want to save face. But if the stubborn person does persist, they're going to break mentally because this is going to weigh heavy on their head. It's going to be very, very much guilt. And they're going to get caught by way of guilt because the guilt is going to eventually eat them all up. All right, so Leo, as you move forward, be careful because you look suspicious and people are starting to be onto you. So if you're not willing to admit all the things that you're doing and maybe save some face and maybe get a lighter sentence, you're going to not only be in spiritual jail but physical jail as well because you're going to get caught. Everybody's going to know it's your guilt and your stuff going to actually make you come up, palms up, and with all the evidence right then and there. All right, so your actions are basically telling on yourself because you can't hold it. It's slipping out of your face, it's slipping out of your deeds, and you're starting to look quite guilty amongst the crowd. So either you're going to admit it or someone's going to spill the beans on you. If you haven't already basically told on yourself by way of your actions or the way in which you will not speak. Because some people think that their absence gives them, gets them away from it. But sometimes the things that you don't say actually get louder as you go on, okay? So that is Leo, 3 plus 7 plus another 7. That would be 17, which means that you are the main suspect. Everybody's looking at you. Where you thought everybody was going to be looking at the person that you painted as the main suspect. Nope. Everybody's turning around. It's a reverse, uno, reverse, and you are the uno. All right, there you go, Leo. Sun, moon, rising. There is, excuse me, the 7 of Cups is Scorpio and Venus. The 3 of Wands is Aries. So we got Aries. The 7 of Swords is Aquarius. And the 7 of Cups is Scorpio. So in Leo, we have Aries, Aquarius, and Scorpio in this Leo reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. All right, we got Virgo. The last one will be Sagittarius. We've got Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio coming up. All right, Virgo, what's up with the Virgos? Remember, that is the 8th month, the end of the 8th month and the beginning of the 9th month. 8998. All right, so in Virgo, we have the Six of Swords coming out. Someone wants to move away from the chaos, sail onto calmer waters. They want to get away from the group. They want to get away from something. Justice in Libra, and then we have Temperance. We have Temperance, and that is a 14. We have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is... I just dropped the card, but I'm going to pick it up eventually. The Six of Swords is Aquarius. The Justice is Libra. And Temperance is... Sorry, these cards, they fall so easy. Temperance is 14. What is 14? 14 is Sagittarius. So we've got Aquarius, Libra, and Sagittarius. Okay, so Six of Swords is moving on to calmer waters. I know that part. Do not look back to the past and feel sad. Move forward in life. A bright future is waiting for you. Mercury and Aquarius, changing your life and releasing baggage. So someone needs to release trauma. They need to release guilt. They need to release some type of thing. And then we have the Justice. This will be fair. Somebody needs to be fair to themselves. And they have to keep temperance. Remember not to let anyone rage bait you or pull you out of your character. So the Six of Swords is changing your life, releasing baggage. The Justice is taking responsibility for your own actions and decisions. Karmic justice will take care of the rest. Finding balance and dealing with karma. So somebody has to basically deal with what they put out. Someone has to deal with the energy they put out, and they have to remember not to get upset because they're being held accountable. That's part of being an adult, taking your part in whatever happened. Even if you feel like you were innocent in a way, you have to take accountability for being there, for knowing them people, for your part in it. And you also have to take responsibility going forward and knowing how to navigate that situation from here on out, okay? Justice just means just being fair with yourself, realizing where a mistake might have been made, and realizing that you may have to retract from it or kill off the part of yourself that even made you susceptible to it in the first place. And remember, temperance. Don't allow anybody to pull you out of your character, and don't be... Try not to have the imposter syndrome. Try not to do things just for the like and making other people feel comfortable, okay? Be accountable for your own actions. If other people feel uncomfortable around you, that's on them. Do you feel comfortable? Should you move? That's on you, okay? So just be fair to yourself. Remember that you are human. And remember that you have the very power to get up and move yourself over to calmer waters. Move away from places that no longer serve you. And never return, okay? And never speak to those people again. Block. Change your email. Change your number. You have the right, and it's only justice that you do that for yourself. Sometimes you don't need the approval of people. No, all times you don't need the approval of people, and you shouldn't have to ask permission to do what's right for you. Do those things accordingly. All right, and that was the Virgo reading. Sometimes you find yourself within a place that isn't serving you right, and it kind of makes you act out of character, and it kind of makes you a bully. Some people get around people and they don't realize how much their personality changes, being as though they change company. Some people are bad influences, and you have to watch out how you interact with people. Just because you get around this person and you can make this person laugh because you're willing to make fun of another person, that makes you a bad person. That person laughing might be a bad person, but it makes you a bad person that you felt as though that was going to be entertainment. So be aware of how you are coming off when it comes to you. Are you an adult? Are you grown? If you are both of those things, and that's how you describe yourself, be accountable as well. All right? It's not just for your benefits. It's also for your growth. That was the Virgo reading. Step it up, Libra. Step it up. All right. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning today. Happy Sunday to you all. It is now 5:48. I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't put a split nose in those tights. I don't know what you got going on, but it's a little bit too hot to be wearing those old pegs. Fashion police. Wow, was that the joke? Some of you got spider webs down there. Those are not stockings. Why being so rude this morning? I'm sorry. Sometimes spirit wants me to actually uh, pluck someone off of their high horse. I have a lot of older females that come to try to make themselves feel a little better, to stroke their ovaries, so to speak. But this ain't the place where it happens. It's just not the place where it happens. All right, so we've got Libra here standing at an all stance. This is the Five of Swords here. We've got the Knight of Pentacles and we've got the Four of Cups. So somebody is feeling very disconnected right here as they stand off. Someone is attempting to hold off people because they don't want people to get close and get the real picture of things. They're holding people at a standoff. They want to appear as the Knight of Pentacles. Somebody has been in a victim mentality. They tell people, oh, it's not me. I always come in with good intentions. I'm always offering somebody something. I'm always the good guy. However, they're not telling what they are. They're not telling that they are a dependent that acts as though they're coming in to lead. They act as though they have all of the answers when really they're coming to depend on someone. They are looking for people to take care of them. They're looking for people to cover up where they might have messed up their whole entire life. They're looking for covering. There's someone who's acting as though they're adult, but they're looking for a dad. They're looking for a mom in a relationship. There's somebody with a mother wound that is looking for somebody to settle down with who's going to act as their mother and their lover. There's somebody with a father wound that's coming in with a lot of bad wounds from the male perspective, and they're looking for a man who's going to be their daddy and their lover at the same time. They want a wallet and a daddy. They don't necessarily want a man because if you should be their man, that they would have to maybe listen to some of the things that you say. And they don't want to give you that much respect because then you will realize that you are the prize in the relationship and not just the gopher. There is a man that wants to lay with you and wants to act as though they are the answer to everything. They want to act as though they are the wind beneath your wing. Although they would like for you to mother them, they would like for you to nurture them because their mother never did no such thing and they're looking for you to do it. Although they're going to try to give all of the credit to their mother who has never mothered them at all. So there's somebody in the victim mentality who goes about acting as though they have all the answers only because they make everybody else, when they come into their lives, feel as though they are the answer and they are not the problem. They're now starting to feel disconnected because people are starting to see them as what they are. You are a person who is coming in as a dependent who wants me to feel like you are something that you're not. There are some people that are coming to your life and they will act as though they are the best thing since sliced bread while they are the crook in your neck. They are the rusty nail in the stairs. But they would like other people to feel as though that they came into your life as a prize when they actually came into your life to use you as a crutch. And they need people to believe that you are the bad person while they brought you nothing but Shangri-La and rainbows when all they brought was their worry and their sabotage and their baggage. But on the outside looking in, they need you to believe that they are being done wrong because their story ain't selling very well. And because you woke up one day and decided that they weren't exactly what they sold themselves to be, they need for other people to make you feel bad for putting them away from you, for putting them out of your life, for cutting off their connection to you. They need people to browbeat you so that they can have access to you. Makes no sense. What I would do is cut them people off who think that they're going to get you to open up your doors to a whole bum. There are some people that did you dirty, and because they can't do you dirty, they need other people to believe that you did them dirty so that they can still have access to you based off of what they lied about. Anybody who can get access to you based off of that sort of situation deserves it. Because why are you weak enough to let a person back in based on a lie? Lord, protect me from these bums. Give them no access, not a crumb. Let me make it a little shorter. Lord, protect us from these bums. Give no access, not a crumb. That's an affirmation. Say that as many times as you need to say that so that you can remind yourself to never give anybody access. Don't give them an answer. Don't even give them a word that makes them feel as though they're validated in their onslaught of attacks and verbal abuse from them. You don't need to give them access. It doesn't matter what the consensus says. It doesn't matter how many people that they lined up against you. You live your truth. If giving access to them is damaging you, don't give them access. I don't care how many people that they crowd up against you. Cut them off too. Let them be with the person that they think is so great. Let them deal with it. All right? This has been your Libra reading. 5 plus the 4 is a 9. Pray for yourself and don't let nobody pray on you. This is how they've got people on the side. Look, it's not me. Look, I'm holding my swords up. You see how them swords down? It was them. I'm always offering them the good stuff. I fix breakfast. I go to the store. Not saying that you used all their money. You burn their pots up. You don't clean up. You don't clean yourself. You're more of a burden than you are a relief. And now they feel disconnected because somebody's starting to see proof of that. Now they want to act like everybody is against them. Oh, woe is me. I'm just going to sit out on this tree since everybody keep pointing at me. Well, it is you. And you deserve to be by that tree. I suggest you pay them dust. Are you going to act victim after you went about and you stormed the city with all of your lies? Sit there. Fashion a blanket out of your lies and be warm out in the wilderness. That's how you like it, right? That was the Libra reading. We've got people out here playing victim and then trying to see if they can get anybody to come and pat them up. Leave them, pay them dust. All right, we've got Scorpio coming up. All right, we got Scorpio and Sagittarius is the last. I'm going to thank you before we come to an end for coming again, my friend. Thank you for your like, shares, and subscribe. We're reached over 1,000 subs, and I'd love to thank you and give you my gratitude, which is the latitude of this morning. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for the donations that I do get. Thank you over there at androgynous $androgynous 111. Thank you very much for your donations. It is much appreciated to all who do. It is not a requirement, but it is definitely appreciated. Judgment, King of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. That is for Scorpio. Judgment, we're all under judgment. Somebody's under a big judgment now. The King of Swords and the balancing. Someone's trying to balance out their life while they are indeed under judgment. Someone is trying to save face. They don't want everybody to know that they're going through it in the background. These are the braids. Work it up, work it up, work it up. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, somebody's trying to rely on old resources, old connections, old networks. The thing about it is they may be old. Things may have gotten old, but technology ain't getting old no time soon. So somebody's trying to rely on old modes of communication, even though we are in 2026. See, back then when they got jammers, they didn't have to register them or they weren't traceable. But see, now that we're in the new school and we know how jammers work, there are some serial numbers that are attached to a lot of equipment. And then once they get traced, they're going to trace right back to your old school self. You're relying on it. Even if you are new school, trying to do old school things and trying to do old school practices, you have to know that there's a way to track just about everything in 2026. Yes, even the spiritual warfare. Okay? There's a way in which to draw that out. All right? We have New Age, okay? New Age is here. So someone's under judgment and they're trying to hide their face, hide their hands. They're trying to throw rocks and hide their hands. They're trying to throw boulders and hide their hands. They also got a shovel behind there too, but we're not going to say anything. Much obliged, I digress. All right, so we've got the King of Swords here, and he's trying to wield all sorts of weapons in any ways, especially the audacity. The audacity is very prevalent with this one, trying to act as though they are part of the community. They are the man of the hour. They are a pillar of the community, all while in the background doing the worst, doing the most. Okay, so there is somebody who wants to look like they are the best thing since sliced bread, while definitely playing the devil's advocate at all times. And they're having a very hard time to balance it out, and they're having a hard time trying to keep their slip from showing, because it is definitely showing. There aren't but so many bribes you're going to do before somebody starts to slide some oil to them, and then your secret slides out. Okay, so somebody's going to be found out by hook or crook or whatever it is. There maybe some chick named Brooke, who knows. By Brooke, I mean babbling Brooke, which means somebody's going to get this lady drunk, somebody's going to get this man drunk, somebody's going to get somebody inebriated, and all the secrets of the Sith are going to come out. Yes, I said it, the Sith. Somebody is an apprentice. Somebody came up under somebody who was just as dirty and dogged as they are, and they aim to keep up the legacy. However, we're new in these streets with the new age, so the legacy isn't going to be heading for long. Okay, all right, so somebody did get past the torch of these dirty deeds. Someone came up under somebody doing the exact same thing. It's just that it ain't like it used to be. Nope, it ain't like it used to be. We're in 2026, all right? So whoever this King of Swords is, they're under judgment, and they're having a hard time keeping a balance of looking good while being very, very bad. Despicable me, despicable me. So somebody's not the arch villain that they thought they were, and they're about to be shown and exposed for it. That balance is very delicate, and they didn't hold it. They weren't able to hold it, not at all. That juggling ain't gonna work. You're going to slip, and you're going to drop one or the other, or both. Okay, so somebody's hand is definitely showing. Your slip is showing, homeboy. Your slip is showing, sport coat. All right, all right. So that's what we have for Judgment and King of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. Let's see what these signs are, and let's get over to Sagittarius and wrap this up. Okay, so we have Judgment out here, which is no, Judgment doesn't happen to be Justice. It's two different cards. Judgment is 20. 20, that's transforming yourself and listening to your inner calling. So somebody kind of freaking knows that the jig is up. And now we have the King of Swords. You have a special connection to laws, rules, and authority because of your analytical and logical mindset, research before implementing your decisions. Air. There's a lot of communication. You are the talk of the town. People are saying how you're kind of losing your grip on things, having intellectual power, displaying integrity and truth. Yeah, they're saying how that's being leveraged a lot by your bad habits. Yeah. You like to be up in the streets with those sugar boogers. You like to see, this is the thing. When some people get high, they actually, I mean, not high, I mean higher up. They start getting high. Okay, that went together. Okay. So when people start to get into a certain echelon of things, they start doing the booger sugar. It's kind of a rite of passage to some, you know, doing some of the snow hills and doing some of the candy and stuff, and the horse and the boy and the girl. Some of them, when they get to a certain, they got money and steam to burn off, so they tell themselves as a rite of passage of having such access to certain people that they can do such things. But somebody's starting to slip. Okay, they're starting to slip into darkness. Mama, she told me that I was slipping in the darkness. Oh, yeah. So somebody is slipping. They starting to snort that nose. They starting to clean that nose. They starting to have that white residue around their nose a little bit more. They starting to nod off or doze off or go off into they're starting to stare off into emptiness a lot more. So whatever they used to be really sharp at, it's starting to round at the corners, if you know what I'm saying. So somebody's not who they think they are anymore. It's starting to fade out a little bit. The shine that they used to display is starting to dull out by way of their habits, by way of their intentions. So maybe somebody likes to take the company of young people, be it boy or girl. Maybe they have materialistic ways. Maybe they like to scam. They like to get into a little things. They like to get into a little gambling, a little illegal fighting, a little something. So somebody has some backdoor habits that are starting to definitely play out in the forefront as they try to juggle this life. They try to act as though they are the pillar of the community, but really they are the nothingness that eats it. All right, maybe they're into human trafficking after they come from the PTA meetings. Maybe they clock out and they become a hitman or an assassin during after hours. Who knows? But this person is playing two parts. All right, so judgment is 20 in the two of pentacles. We have a 22. So somebody's a 22. February the 2nd, February the 22nd. Somebody is doing two things at once. They're living a double life, and it's starting to be very, very clear in front of people what they're doing. So we have a 22, which is foundations. Break it down into foundations, and somebody's built their foundation living this double life that is starting to peak. All right, now we're over to Sagittarius, our last but not least, because we ain't got that much power left. I didn't charge it up last night. I fell asleep. That rain came through, and rain didn't go away, but it dang sure washed the skeletons of somebody's away. All right. So somebody has been purified in the lake of Minnetonka. Now they are able to admit everything, and they don't have as much wounds as they thought they had. As much as people try to feed upon those wounds, they're realizing they aren't as hurt as the people are that are hurt that they couldn't exploit them. Okay, now we have justice, and we have the Six of Swords and the Empress. Okay, Sagittarius, I love it. That's a twin sign to me. All right, so we have the justice here. Okay, we have the Six of Swords, and we have the Empress back out. She's looking abundant. She's looking wealthy. She looks like everything that she lays her eyes on does yield to her and bear fruit. So, justice in this Sagittarius reading. Let's get it over with, because we are dominating these time constraints. Are you ready for school? Are you ready to return the kids back to instruction? And are you ready to balance out anything that they might come home missing? Justice is the 11. And that is take responsibility for your own actions and decisions. Karmic justice will take care of rest. And that is Libra. Well, karmic justice will take care of the rest. That's what I meant to say. Finding balance and dealing with karma. So someone is getting justice, and they're also realizing that karma is dharma and dharma is karma. Sometimes life happens for you, not to you, because you need to see what's going on. Sometimes good Lord lets some things slide into you just so that you can be aware or become aware of what might be coming toward you, be it good or negative. You still need to have your eyes open and your head on the swivel, because if you don't got to get ready, you are already ready. You have to stay ready, be prepared. Preparedness is what you need, especially as you prepare to push off into calmer waters. You're going to need your oils, you're going to need your water, you're going to need your nutrients, you're going to need your rations, you're going to need your direction about you. You're going to need a safe place to land, okay? And the Empress knows all. The Empress will use all that she has that is in her realm to proceed and do that. So you have everything, and that is find justice. You have what you need. And if not, whenever you get to where you need to go, you will have what you need. There will be some support there for you, because everything from there will turn and bear fruit for you. So justice is moving on and moving out and moving up the social ladder. Not because of anyone else, but because you did what you had to do for you. Now, your social ladder doesn't mean that you're going to be in the front of the World Theater, but it could also mean that you're going to have a good job. You're going to have a good house. You're going to have a good family. You're going to have a good support system. That can also move you up the social ladder, having these things in place. People say, hey, it's great over there. Hey, it looks so fruitful over there. It looks like reciprocal over there. That's all you need, is everything that you've already been prepared with. And now that you have a thicker skin, because now that you're aware of the duality of people, and you're aware of the things that you do for yourself being both judged good and bad. Just because it's good to you doesn't mean that it's good to others. Some people see all of your good deeds as a bad thing for them because they weren't able to take you away from who you are as a whole. And you're going to have to be okay with being a villain in somebody's story, even if you never deemed yourself a villain. Somebody's always going to be upset. And you have to be okay with that. And they're going to have to be okay with being upset because you never asked for their opinion to be good. Some people would love that type of power in your life. They would love for you to ask them, how does this look? Am I okay? They would love for you to ask them how they feel and you to tell them they feel bad and for them to just absorb it and take it. They would love to have that type of power in your life. So be careful with handing people the reins of your self-esteem, your power, your authorization. Be careful with compromising, even for a second. Some people are just that masochist. Some people are just that sadistic. They would love to take your innocence and turn you inside out. And then tell the world, see, they handed it to me. They let me. You be careful with letting anybody do anything to you. Call back your power. Call back your strength. And do what suits you. They talked about Jesus. Don't worry about what they say about you. You didn't come to do his job. He did the biggest job could ever be done and continues to do it. So you don't have to try to take its place. You don't have to be a martyr. You don't have to be forgiven where God is. Let them go to God. Don't let them put that on you. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on me. Talladega Nights. They want to go fast. They want to go fast right now. But remember, if you're not first, you're last. And you've been spending a morning with Nix. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. See you later. Goodbye.